There's a reason you're carrying what feels like 15 extra pounds of trapped waste in your belly, the kind that makes your clothes pinch no matter how carefully you ate yesterday, the kind that's still sitting heavy at 6 in the morning even though you finished dinner 12 hours ago. It isn't fiber. It isn't water. It isn't age. And it isn't anything you did wrong. In 1971, a research team in Kyoto figured out exactly why the human gut holds onto 15, 20, sometimes 30 pounds of waste long after it should have let go. They published the paper. It was cited 4 times in Western journals, and then it vanished. Within 18 months, no major medical publication in America or Europe would touch it. I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you the drink they built around it. $3. 2 ingredients already sitting in your kitchen. Taken before bed, the way my grandmother taught me when I was 9 years old. But first, I need you to hear something because you've been carrying this literally for too long. You didn't do this to yourself. You didn't eat the wrong things. You didn't move too little. You didn't miss some rule in a magazine. For years, doctors have handed you the same 3 answers. Slow digestion, normal aging, try more fiber, then a $40 bottle of something that barely moves the needle. You go home, you take it, and the quiet message underneath is that your body is breaking down and there isn't much anyone can do. So you adjust. You catch yourself sucking your stomach in when your grandkids hug you and you laugh it off. But in the car on the way home, you don't laugh. You skip the walk you used to love because every step feels like work. You turn down the dinner invitation because you're afraid of what your body will do or won't do in someone else's bathroom. And somewhere along the way, you started blaming yourself. Maybe if I drank more water. Maybe if I gave up bread. Maybe if I were just stronger. None of that is the reason. The reason is something you're doing every single morning before you even sit down for breakfast. Something so ordinary you'd never suspect it. And the moment you stop doing it and replace it with this one drink, those 15 pounds of trapped waste leave on their own. Not in a week. Not in a month. Overnight. You'll wake up, swing your legs over the side of the bed, and the first thing you'll notice is the waistband of your pajamas sliding loose against your skin and a flatness in your stomach you haven't felt in years. My grandmother showed me this drink when I was 9 years old. She'd been making it every night since the war. She lived to 94, sharp as a paring knife, and never once swallowed a laxative. What she handed me that night in a small white cup is the same thing I'm about to hand you. But you have to understand the morning habit first, because without that piece, the drink does nothing. And every month you wait, the waste compacts harder. The lining of your gut grows more inflamed. At 55, this clears in a single night. At 65, sometimes 2. By 75, the muscles have forgotten the rhythm, and we have to start with half a dose. That's not a scare tactic. That's the pattern I've watched in hundreds of bodies. Every year you wait, the climb gets a little steeper. So here's what they found in Kyoto. Here's the habit you have to stop. And here's the $3 drink that flushes the 15 pounds out overnight. The story you've been told about why this waste stays trapped is the wrong one. The real reason will surprise you. The team in Kyoto discovered it isn't that your digestion suddenly slows with age. It isn't that your body is just lazy. It's a single morning habit that quietly shuts down the gut's natural cleaning wave. Here it is. The first thing that touches your stomach in the morning is cold. Cold coffee, cold water, cold juice. It doesn't matter what. The temperature is the trigger. Cold liquid hitting an empty gut at sunrise sends one specific signal through the nerves that line the intestine. It tells the long, gentle wave called the migrating motor complex to skip its morning job. Instead of sweeping the overnight waste downward and out, the wave stalls. The colon tightens like a river that hits a fallen log. Everything piles up behind it, day after day, year after year, until 15 pounds or more sits there, pressing outward, making every shirt feel tight. Picture it like this. Imagine a slow mountain river that's supposed to carry fallen leaves and silt all the way to the sea each morning. The river has done this for decades without trouble. Then one day, someone starts throwing small stones into the same spot every sunrise. The stones are tiny. You barely notice them. But over time, they stack into a low dam. The water still flows, but slower. The silt settles thicker. The leaves rot where they should have moved on. That's exactly what the Kyoto paper described. The cold liquid first thing acts like those stones. The gut's cleaning wave never fully runs. The waste that should leave stays trapped higher up, compacting, fermenting, pressing against the belly wall every hour you stay awake. And here's why you never heard about it. The fix the Kyoto team published cost about $3 to make. That same year, the American laxative and fiber industry was worth nearly $2 billion. Within 18 months, the paper was gone from Western journals. Not retracted, just quietly stopped being cited. I'll let you sit with what that means. This is why nothing else you've tried has worked for long. Extra fiber just adds more material to the pile behind the dam. Probiotics try to cheer on the river but can't clear the stones. Expensive teas and powders give you a temporary rush, but never touch the morning signal that started the backup in the first place. The real cause has been hiding in plain sight every single day before breakfast. I want to tell you about one man who lived exactly this and came out the other side. His name is Robert, 69, from Phoenix. He spent 30 years as a school principal, and he loved nothing more than early morning hikes with his two granddaughters. For the last 6 years, the trapped waste had stolen that from him. He woke up heavy. His belt left marks on his skin. Every step felt like carrying a backpack full of rocks. He tried the fiber drinks, the prescription laxatives, the expensive gut cleansers. Each one gave him a day or two of movement, and then the heaviness came back, sometimes worse. He told me he'd started waiting until the girls were buckled into the back seat before he'd lower himself into the driver's seat, slowly, one hand on the door frame, so they wouldn't see him wince. Then he'd catch his own eyes in the rearview mirror and look away. Grandpa's knees again, he'd tell them. It wasn't his knees. I gave him the same drink my grandmother had shown me. He took it that night, exactly the way I'm about to show you. The next morning he called me before the sun was fully up. His voice was quiet. He kept asking me to repeat myself, like he needed to hear it from someone else to believe it. 12 pounds, overnight, not water weight that would bounce back. Real solid release. By the end of the week, he was back on the trail with the girls, 18 pounds lighter, moving the way he remembered from 10 years earlier. He told me the best part wasn't the number on the scale. It was bending down to tie a shoelace without that constant pressure reminding him he was getting old. Robert's still hiking 3 times a week. The waist hasn't come back, because he also fixed the morning habit, and what he drank that first night to trigger the 12 pounds before sunrise. You can build in your kitchen in under 4 minutes. Let me walk you through it the same way I walked him through it. Start with a small glass, the kind you use for orange juice. Measure 1 to 2 tablespoons of cold-pressed castor oil. If this is new to you, begin with 1. And listen, get the cold-pressed kind. I know it costs a couple dollars more. Buy it anyway. The cheap stuff has been heated until the part that actually wakes your gut is dead in the bottle. Wrong bottle, wrong result. That's the single biggest reason people try this once and feel nothing. Next, warm 8 ounces of water. Not hot, just warm. The temperature you'd give a baby. Pour it into the glass. Squeeze in the juice of half a fresh lemon. The lemon brightens the taste and gives the liver a small nudge to do its part. Add a small pinch of sea salt. No more than what you'd use to season an egg. Don't skip this. I skipped it the first time and woke up dizzy when my feet hit the floor. The salt is what keeps your electrolytes steady through the flush. Stir in a teaspoon of raw honey. It coats the throat and the stomach so the castor oil slips down easier. Finally, add the castor oil and stir gently. It won't fully mix. That's fine. Drink it slowly, right before you climb into bed. At least 2 hours after your last meal. Sip it the way you'd sip a warm tea you wanted to last. Then lie down on your right side for 10 or 15 minutes. Right side, not left. Get this backwards and the mixture sits in the wrong curve of the intestine and barely works. Right side lets gravity carry it through the bend where it does its job. The 2 ingredients doing the real work are the castor oil and the warm water. The lemon, honey, and salt are there for comfort and safety, so your stomach doesn't fight you at 3 in the morning and you don't wake up drained. Total cost under $3 if you already have lemon and salt in the kitchen. Almost everyone does. In the morning you'll feel the release, usually gentle, usually complete, 6 to 8 hours after you drink it, sometimes sooner. The castor oil contracts the smooth muscle of the colon the way nature intended. The warm water carries it through. The lemon and honey keep everything calm. The salt makes sure you lose nothing your body needs. This is what my grandmother handed me in that small white cup when I was 9. Her mother handed it to her. It goes back further than anyone in our family can remember. Most people tell me the same thing the next morning. They wake up, swing their legs over the side of the bed, and the waistband of their pajamas slides down an inch on its own. They sit there for a second, hand on their stomach, not quite believing what they're feeling. One woman told me her hands rested in her lap on the drive to church instead of pulling at her waistband the whole way there. Another man told me he was halfway across his kitchen pouring coffee when he realized something felt wrong, and then he understood. His shoulders weren't hunched. He wasn't leaning into the counter. He was just standing there, upright, the way he had at 50. These aren't dramatic claims. These are the quiet, grateful things real people say when the body finally does what it was built to do. But here's what I didn't tell Robert until later. And what I have to tell you now before you close this video, the drink works. The relief is real. For many of you, that's enough. Take it, use it tonight, go with my blessing. But for about 1 in 3 people, the weight starts creeping back inside 90 days. And when it returns harder. There's a reason. The trapped waste is only the surface. Underneath it sits an imbalance in the rhythm of the gut. And underneath that imbalance is the gut itself, the place where everything begins each day. There are exactly 3 things the gut has been starving for: good living bacteria, the fiber those bacteria like to eat, and the healing compounds they make once they're properly fed. When you give the gut all 3 at once, the rhythm comes back on its own, usually inside 3 weeks. The bloat stops returning, the morning weigh-in stops being something you dread, and the trapped waste stops being a problem you manage and starts being a problem you solved. The drink alone is a rescue. What I'm about to tell you is the repair. Where I learned this, kombucha was something you brewed in a glass jar on the back counter, covered with a kitchen towel, and stirred into your day without thinking. I still do it that way. But almost nobody watching this is going to start brewing tonight. And I'd rather you have something working in your stomach by tomorrow than nothing at all. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. So I tell people to use BoochBod Kombucha Gummies, 2 a day. Morning with the warm water that replaces the cold drink you used to start with. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod on Amazon. The ones who do this, the nighttime drink, plus the morning kombucha, plus dropping the cold liquid first thing, those are the ones who don't come back to me a second time. Robert's back on the trails with his granddaughters, laughing, moving free, the way he always wanted. The same road is open to you, but only if you walk it. It doesn't matter if you're 55 or 85. The body still knows how to do this work. It's been waiting for someone to stop blocking it. So make the drink tonight. Drop the cold liquid in the morning. And tell me in the comments tomorrow what you noticed the moment your feet hit the floor. I read every single one. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And share this with someone who's been carrying the same quiet weight. Until next time.